Marisa and her husband Juan Carlos, both nurses, work with the sickest, most acute patients in a Washington, D.C. hospital.
Those patients are put on ECMO, which is bypassing their lungs, and it's pretty much their last shot. Of course, I don't want to bring anything home with us. My oldest has asthma, and that puts her at greater risk.
We're in the front line. We know what's happening, and we know that there's no cure. You have to change your clothes, make sure that you leave all your shoes outside, everything outside, so everything is clean so you don't bring the virus in.
Fear and anxiety about getting infected with COVID-19 are not exclusive to those working on the front lines of the pandemic. The Pew Research Center reports that 1/3 of Americans experienced high levels of psychological distress at some point during the lockdowns. Therapists have seen this surge up close.
Some people will respond in a fight or flight kind of way, in which they go into a hyperarousal state, in which they feel anxious. And then there are people that respond in a hypoarousal state, which is more of a freeze response. And that's usually when people are kind of resigned and withdrawn. Awareness is very fundamental.
These parents barely have time to look inwards. Their focus is on making their daughters' lives as normal as possible.
We don't show our emotions in front of them or our fears, so I don't think they know what's happening.
What is your worst fear?
Dying and leaving my kids without parents.
Keeping feelings bottled up, however, isn't the best approach, the experts warn.
Kids are very observant and very intuitive about how their parents are doing. What usually we see is some withdrawal from the family or mild irritability, changes in their sleep and their appetite. So being able to talk about it helps them to participate and not to assume that this is their fault.
As some parts of the country begin to reopen with strict distancing guidelines, another kind of fear is haunting this small restaurant owner.
I have just come out of college. I have student loans I've got to take care of. If this does not become a stable business, I'm going to have plenty of other issues on my hand.
Sim and her parents regularly sanitize the restaurant, but wonder if the extra precautions will be enough.
If your customer feels like are uncomfortable or they are being exposed, they're not going to want to sit and dine in. People taking deliveries have dropped. The fear is who's touched the food, how's it been made?
It's a reasonable concern, but beyond that, if we get into doing something that would affect our daily function, that becomes obsession, compulsion, paranoia, or extreme anxiety.
Therapists are offering online consultations, but with no end in sight for the pandemic, even those who affirm they are mentally strong have worries.
Hopes are going down day by day. Will we get out from it? When will we get out from it?
How long can we stay in business? Time will tell. Maybe it might be advisable to just close the place and walk away.
The Pew survey found the highest levels of psychological distress among those with severe financial problems or who feared infection from the virus. In that context, Dr. Habibpour predicts a rising demand for mental health support in the coming months. At their workplace, Marisa and her husband have access to mental health care. So far, though, she's opted to focus on the positive while handling the stress.
Being able to talk to colleagues in the nursing world who have gone through the same things and understand life and death on that level, but seeing patients get better, that really helps as well.
For VOA News, Verónica Valderas Iglesias, Northern Virginia.